It's setting up.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. We are live again with Nova Principles, and we welcome you to another week of positivity during the pandemic. I guess that's one way we can look at it, right? I'm Dr. Paul Jenkins. I am one of the co-founders of the N.O.V.A program, and Nova Principles Foundation is sponsoring these broadcasts that we're doing twice a week right now while everybody's out of school and hunkering down at home. I hope you're having a great experience. Your N.O.V.A instructors send their love and greetings to you. They wish that they could be there in the classroom with you. Because they're not, we're doing these Facebook Lives. So welcome again. Hopefully you've had some good experiences with the challenges that we've given already. Would you take a minute and just go to the comments to chime in about where you're listening from, where you're signing in? We've had listeners and viewers for these broadcasts all over the world, even though the N.O.V.A program is still mostly within the Western United States. But we have people tuning in from all over, and that's thanks to you for sharing. Would you please consider sharing this feed as well? You can click share right now and you can share it with people. Even if you're watching it after the fact, you can click the share button and spread the word. Let's get some positivity out there. We want positivity to spread as quickly as a pandemic, because that would be awesome. And that would help us all to have a better experience. As an acknowledgement, I want to also thank Nova Principles Foundation. Would you please visit the website, NOVAPrinciples.com, NOVAPrinciples.com, so that you can support this great foundation that's doing so much good to spread this positivity right now. There's a store there. There's a way that you can donate to the nonprofit foundation and continue to support Nova Principles. Big thank you to Nova Principles. Let's jump in, shall we? Are you facing some big things right now? Are you? You know what? Different people answer this in different ways. In our first broadcast, it's been what, 2 weeks ago now, we talked about positivity. Positivity is a way that we can understand how our mind is processing information. So when I asked you, are you facing big things right now? Well, notice that you have an answer to that. And some of you would have thought, yeah, I'm facing some really big stuff. And others might say, not really. This is pretty much, whatever your answer was, just notice. You know, a couple of years ago, I had an opportunity to learn some things about giants. I want to share something with you. Let me see if I can get my screen up so that you can see this. And this will help us to understand where I'm coming from. So let's go here. There's a book by Bruce Wilkinson called The Dream Giver. And there's a definition that he shared in the book. A giant, a very real and completely overwhelming obstacle you encounter on the road to your dream. A very real and completely overwhelming obstacle you encounter on the road to your dream. Now, isn't that interesting? I have to tell you a little story real quick. We'll come back to this in just a minute. Whoops, hang on. Actually, it's a story about this spider. I hope you can see it here on the screen. My son and I were working on a bug collection. You know how sometimes in school you get to do a little bug collection for your biology? And we found this spider. This is a close-up so that you can see him really well. This spider only has 7 legs. Now, did you notice? Oh, some of you noticed. And some of you didn't notice. And either way is just fine. But notice that this spider only has 7 legs. Why did you notice or not notice that before? Now, some of you, when you saw the spider, might have thought, "Ew, I hate spiders." This is what my wife would have said. Some of you might have thought, "Oh, I love spiders, and that's a really cute one." You might have thought, "Oh, that's a big spider." You might have thought, "That's a little spider." Whatever you thought, just notice that you thought that. Now, when I pointed out it's only got 7 legs, you were like, "Oh, he's right. Look at that. It's only got 7 legs," even though you didn't notice that before. Well, sometimes we notice stuff when it's called to our attention, and we don't notice it until it's called to our attention. This spider caught my attention for a couple of reasons. The fact that it has 7 legs was brought to my attention by my son. When we captured this spider, he said, "Look, Dad, it only has 7 legs." And I'm like, wow. I was a little distracted. I didn't notice that it had 7 legs because I was paying attention to how big this spider was. Now, as I show you this picture, did anything change for you? Did anything change in the way you're looking at this spider? For me, it did. I posted the first picture. If we go back to that, I posted this first picture on Facebook when we first found it, and people were commenting, "Oh, look, it's got 7 legs." And some people were like, "Oh, what a cute little spider." And I'm like, "You guys don't get it. This is a huge spider." And so I put up the second picture because now you have something to compare it to other than just the white box that it was in. You know how big a dollar bill is. Now, can you picture a spider that's that size next to a dollar bill? This is why I didn't notice that it had 7 legs, because I was too busy noticing how big it was, right? This is a desert tarantula. We found it here just, about 20 miles from our home here in Utah. Now, I call this to your attention because this spider is only big when you compare it to something smaller, right? Most spiders that I'm used to are smaller than this one. And when I saw this one, it's like, whoa, that spider is huge. Well, it's only huge compared to smaller spiders. Maybe you've seen pictures on the internet about those camel spiders over in the Middle East that are like, these are bird-eating spiders. They're the size of a dinner plate. And compared to those, this one's pretty small. They're always small. You know what? I'm also a puzzler. I love puzzles. Are you familiar with this puzzle? This is called a Rubik's Cube. And to some people, this is impossible to solve. I've got one right here on my desk, and it's not solved, but I could solve this within 2 minutes. Now, some of you are like, "Do it then." Well, I'm not going to do it right now. But notice that this puzzle is a challenging puzzle. And a lot of people would think, "Oh, this is kind of a difficult puzzle." Well, yeah, it is. But I learned how to solve the Rubik's Cube when I was 14 years old. My brother taught me. And in learning how to solve this Rubik's Cube, I practiced and I practiced and I practiced until I got really good at it. And now, like I said, I can solve it in about 2 minutes, no matter how it's mixed up. So then my wife, who loves me, and loves to give me things that I love, got this one for my birthday. Now, this is called the Rubik's Revenge. And the Rubik's Revenge is more difficult to solve than anything else. Than anything else? No, it's more difficult to solve than the Rubik's Cube by quite a bit. And so I wasn't able to solve it. And it got so frustrating to me. Now, if you can't see the visuals, the Rubik's Revenge is a 4x4 cube. The Rubik's Cube, the one that I'm showing you on my screen, is 3x3. So when you go to 4x4, it's a whole lot more difficult. A whole lot more difficult. And I got stuck. And I was not able to solve that thing. So it sat there for maybe 2 years. For 2 years, I couldn't solve it. And then I was looking at it one day and I thought, you know what? This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I am going to find the solution. So I went to the source of all knowledge. You know what that is, right? Google. And I typed in Rubik's Revenge solution. And as I was looking for the Rubik's Revenge solution, I found it. And it was about 26 pages of detailed instructions, 3-dimensional, showing you exactly how to move this cube. And I downloaded, I printed it out, and I sat there and I figured it out. And it took me about 2.5 hours to solve this puzzle. Wow. Yeah, that's how long I stuck with it. That's not very efficient. So I had to spend some time figuring out how to solve this thing in a way that would allow me to do it more quickly, more effectively. And so I finally figured it out. I memorized it and I practiced it, and I got to the point where I could solve the Rubik's Revenge in about 10 minutes. Isn't that awesome? And I was so excited. And I think the visuals aren't working really great on the screen share. So I'm going to show you what happened next. My wife brought me this one. Now, this one's kind of beat up and I've had to replace some of the colors and it's kind of worn out, but this is called the Professor Cube. Notice this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 across. The Rubik's Cube has 3. Rubik's Revenge has 4. The Professor Cube has 5. 5 by 5. And now I'm stuck with a puzzle that I can't solve again. But I'd learned something from the Rubik's Revenge because, hey, if you can't find the answer, you do what? You study the situation and you go to some people who already know and they can help you to figure out how to do this thing, right? So I went to Google again, Professor Cube solution. Yep, there it is. And it's even more complicated than the Rubik's Revenge. But do you get the picture? And have you ever, you know what, my son, at about this same time, my son was very enthusiastic about some video games that he had learned how to play. And you probably play some video games from time to time, right? You know how when you're playing a video game and it's brand new to you, and you're sitting there and you're playing the game and it's hard, right? It's challenging. And I remember watching my son playing this brand new game that he got, and he's getting frustrated with it. And pretty soon he's like, oh, and just in frustration, he puts down the controller and he kind of goes away from the game for a little bit. And I said, buddy, what's the problem? He says, it's just so hard. I can't get it to, and he was really frustrated. Well, after he calmed down a little bit, he came back to it and he started playing it again. And it was still a little frustrating, but he was getting better at it. And as he was getting better at it, he started to feel less frustrated. Can you relate? He started to feel less frustrated. And just like me with the Rubik's Cube, when I first started this, it was like, oh, I can't solve it. But then after I practiced, I started getting better at it. And as I got better at it, it got more fun. Well, same thing happened with my son. And he started to have more fun with this game. And pretty soon he's kind of kicking back in his chair and he's playing this game and it's no sweat, right? And he's just enjoying it. And I'm like, oh, good. My son's enjoying that game. And then he leveled up. Do you know what that means, to level up? Yeah, of course you do. Because when you pass this level, then it moves you on to this level, the next level. And when that game leveled up, he went to the next level. And what happened? It was hard again. It was hard again. And so he's getting frustrated again at the next level. And you know what? This happens every time you get really good at this level, you go up to this one. And then that's really hard and it's kind of kicking your trash for a while. And then you get good at that one. And then what? You go up to the next level. Life is full of levels. Life is full of levels. And you'll notice this everywhere you look. Money, for example. Do you remember when you were a little kid, how a couple of pennies was a big deal? It's like, oh, money, right? I had two little kids that used to live next door to me. They were raising some chickens out back, and I would buy eggs from them. And they would come over and bring me my eggs, and then I would give them their money. Well, they didn't really care too much about the dollar bills, but if I gave them some coins, they're like, oh, this is awesome, right? Because they were just little kids. They didn't know. They thought that the heavier, jingly kind of money was even better. And then there's some point where you move from the pennies and the dimes up to $1. Now $1 is a big deal, right? Do you remember? And there's a point where you move from $1 to $10. Now $10 is a big deal. And if mom or dad are listening, they'll know that you move from 10 to 100 at some point. Now $100 is a big deal. And then you move from 100 to 1,000. I call this the decimal factor. And there's always another level. So just notice that this is true of your life. Now let's go back to the giant idea for a minute. And some of you couldn't see the slides that I was showing earlier because of some technical problems. When I showed a picture of a spider just against a white background, it makes a bigger difference when I put that spider next to a dollar bill, and then you can see how big it is. And this is true of all of the giants in our life. If we think something is big, it's just because we're comparing it to something that's smaller. And once we master something, we move on to the next level. So check it out. Right now, we're involved in a pandemic. That's a word you might not have even known before March 2020. This pandemic is a big deal, right? Well, only compared to less big things, right? To smaller things, to things that aren't such a big deal. It's huge, but what are we learning? It's just like the video game. You are learning to do hard things. Isn't that awesome? You are learning to do hard things. And once all of this passes, you're going to be stronger. You're going to be more skilled. You're going to be better at a whole bunch of stuff that you didn't even get to practice before the pandemic hit. Now, I've got a word of caution for you, because we get really good at whatever we practice. And if we practice being all negative and fearful and upset all the time, we're going to get pretty good at that. We got to watch out what we're doing with the equipment of our own mind. And as you think about the things that are happening right now, and if you think, oh, this is hard, yeah, compared to easier stuff. But what if you had something harder to deal with? Well, then this would seem easy in comparison. You with me? So watch your mind. Mind your mind. All right? Pay attention to it. Keep track of it. Make sure that you're operating it properly. And if you haven't seen the previous videos that we've done, I've talked about several aspects of this already that you can go back and review, both here on Facebook or on YouTube, where we're putting up recordings of all of the videos that we're making. There are places where you can go back and review everything that we've talked about so far. Real quick, also, I wanted to let you know, if you haven't yet got your free copy of my mini book, Portable Positivity, this will walk you through it, okay? This will help you to see step by step how to operate the equipment and be positive. And here's where you get it. Dr. Paul Jenkins, Dr. Paul Jenkins.info/portable positivity. drpauljenkins.info/portable positivity. check with your parents on this too, because you can get the free digital copy. There's going to be an offer there for you to pay for the shipping, and I'll send one to you. You can do that if it's okay with your parents. But what I want you to do is figure out how to operate the equipment, and I'm here to help you. That's where the instruction manual is. You guys rock. You guys are so awesome. I hope that you are staying healthy. I hope that you are staying positive, and I hope that you take this information and you go share it with somebody. Go share it. That's how we're going to spread a pandemic of positivity. And that's going to help our world probably more than anything else we can do right now. We've got your back. Remember to visit NOVAPrinciples.com. There's a store there where you can get the badges, or I'm trying to find the word, the coins and the patches and the t-shirts, and even Polaris is there at the store, NOVAPrinciples.com. There's also a place there where you can contribute. Now I'm going to check real quick. I've got some messages coming in. Oh yeah, the messages I'm getting is, hey, we can't see your pictures. Sorry about that. We're still working out some of the tech, and sometimes it doesn't work the way that it used to be. It looks like we don't have any specific questions for me to answer right now on Facebook. We've got Lyman and Charlie over there helping to moderate some of what's going on the Facebook feed. Please share with other families, other students, other teachers, other instructors. Share what we're doing here. Let's spread the word and stay positive. We'll be back on Friday with another live feed here on Facebook, and we're looking forward to being with you there. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.